Welcome back, guys. Well, welcome back to InHaus podcast, but welcome to you guys. Today we've got Reconsider Paradise, the band, on with us, which is super fun. Some old friends from, English 203, I guess.
Or was it 103?
How many years ago is that now?
2 years ago, I think.
2 years ago? I feel like I should just say the beginning of college because that makes it sound like
that's pretty
longer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the beginning of college. But if you guys want to introduce all the way down the line and then say a little fact or a little, I don't know. That feels too much
Just
like
let us
class.
know who you are.
Just let us know who you are.
This isn't the first day of class.
That's true. That's true.
I'm Robbie. I play piano and sing in Reconsider Paradise. And
For sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
I am Andy. I am the second part of the trio, as we should clarify. Reconsider Paradise.
Is there rankings?
Oh,
No, I don't think a trio necessarily needs rankings.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I mean, I'm sure when you think of trios and duos, you rank them yourselves, but they don't as a band.
You probably shouldn't. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm Ryan. I'm the drummer for Reconsider Paradise. Chemistry, physics major. Don't go to NIU, but these guys do. I go to Lewis in Romeoville, so that's about
It sounded like you were
an
telling
hour
everyone not
southeast.
Yeah. Don't go to NIU.
Yeah, I'm a drummer. Don't go to
No. I don't go to NIU, but these guys do. So yeah, that's basically it.
Nice.
For sure.
A little
More
about
to it
me.
than that, but for the...
More to
yeah,
it than that.
For the sake
intro,
of the
for
round
sure.
robin.
Yeah, for sure. So we got drums, keys, strings,
Guitars. Mostly guitar.
A lot
Mostly
of
guitars.
vocals.
Yeah, give a band
Yeah,
overview.
what do you play?
I mean, if we're starting off that crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... you want me to start from the beginning?
Oh, man.
Okay,
Where else
so
would we go? Where else would we start?
that's a great question. Yeah, give us a little look into.
Are we skipping wind instruments?
Sure. Skip.
All
one.
right, well, my first stringed instrument was the viola.
Whoa.
fourth grade.
Okay.
And Miss Pacheco was my teacher, and because of that, I went to trumpet.
I don't think she'll see this, but if she does.
She might.
She might hear it.
Awesome.
No, so
At-
it wasn't her fault. It was
At Miss Pacheco.
the actual problem was that every family member who ever went to see me in orchestra
Mhm.
couldn't find me in the crowd and didn't hear me. I
Oh,
was like, yeah, I need to pick an instrument that's a lot louder.
for sure.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I want to play sax. We already got 6 sax players. All right, I'll play trumpet.
6?
Okay.
Yeah, everyone likes sax.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
this was pre-5th grade.
I was going to see that.
Classic.
That seems pretty.
Yeah, no. So
You guys pared down.
Then,
6 saxophone players.
yeah, no. So then I played trumpet and picked up guitar like freshman year, and that was post Empire days, which we'll get into. But yeah, and I've been playing guitar since then. Picked up banjo, mandolin, ukulele, and those are like the main ones. And I fiddle around on a lot of other ones.
What kind of banjo do you play?
5-string, the only banjo.
5-string, the only banjo.
I mean,
Okay.
there's 4 strings,
Uh-huh.
which is still a banjo, but you're missing the drone, which is
Key.
the really high note that you hit like all the time. And
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
It just
so
gets
really,
very important.
5 strings the only way.
You
to
kinda
yeah,
actually-
need
but
it.
that there's 6-string, which
Whoa.
is just a glorified guitar, which I
Okay.
don't believe.
Not a true banjo.
I would just say I play guitar if I'm
Okay.
playing that
for sure.
You might as well.
Fair enough.
twangy guitar.
Twangy guitar. That seems like is there some probably banjo culture out there that I just don't know about that like
Yeah, actually a big banjo culture place is around where we live, Frankfurt,
okay.
Illinois,
Okay.
which is
Shout out
about
to
10
Frankfurt.
Shout out to Frankfurt. I think they're famous for their big corn tower that stands in the middle of town square.
I don't think I've heard anything
It's just
more
a
like.
huge
Don't they
white
have some
tower.
kind of like bluegrass? Don't they have some kind of bluegrass fest or something every year?
Well, that's what I was
cool.
gonna say.
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
Bluegrass Fest.
yes.
Yeah, that's right by us.
What's it called?
Frankfurt Bluegrass Fest.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
I think
it's
so.
pretty straightforward.
But yeah, that's the only time I've ever gotten into bluegrass. Mostly I just like strum it like a guitar anyways, but of course I do some picking.
Yeah, you do some
but
picking. I've heard
I
you
wouldn't
pick.
say I'm trained in bluegrass.
That's okay.
And
Not
then-
like Jerry.
So did you guys meet through? How did you guys meet? I guess.
Yeah,
Is that-
so basically, Ryan and I were actually, I think Andrew and I first.
Yeah.
We were in Cub Scouts together
Okay.
since 4th grade.
Long time back.
Yeah.
So and
Ever
then-
since Andrew was learning the trumpet.
Yes.
Yeah, ever since he was learning the trumpet.
Okay.
So then we went to, then we were in concert band together, and I was in percussion with Ryan.
Yep.
And Andrew played trumpet, and we just kind of went through high school together in like
Uh-huh.
concert band, jazz band, pep band, all that stuff.
When do you think you started playing outside of school stuff? Like when were you like, oh, let's get together and do this, just us?
All
Um,
3 of us, my junior year in high school, but
Okay.
they started before then.
Okay.
With a band called Empire. I'll let them talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, tell us
Oh,
about Empire.
man.
We're digging into the backstory.
Well, before we get too ahead of ourselves, I would just like to note that me and Robbie, like forming like bands together and everything,
for sure.
it's like the biggest. My note is that, of course, in Cub Scouts, there's the scrawny kid, little short guy
Sure.
who has no friends,
Sure.
and there's the huge tall guy
Uh-huh.
who has no friends.
For sure.
And of course, somehow they get put together to do sit-ups,
Okay.
and the little scrawny kid is Robbie is
Uh-huh.
trying to hold my whole body weight, and he's standing on my feet,
You were like lifting
and
him
I'm
off the
still
ground.
lifting him.
I forgot about
So
That's iconic.
there is that. But yeah, somehow that led to us forming like a hard rock band, which I don't know how that progression happened, but I know through junior high, me and my buddies always talked about, oh, we should start a band. We like old music.
Uh-huh.
But then somewhere around 8th grade, we actually started doing it, and it was called Empire. It was me and Robbie. I just sang kind of Ronnie Van Zant style, just up there singing from Leonard
Cool.
Skinner,
Okay.
Ronnie Van Zant.
Cool. Yeah.
No hat though.
I didn't have a hat like him.
That's okay.
Couldn't
That's
pull that
okay.
off. But Robbie drummed because he's a percussionist, and then we had a guitarist and a bassist
Sweet.
who we all went to school with.
Sweet.
And the like musical push and the sound was kind of more from the guitarist and bassist more so.
Yeah, I would say that.
We all had our own kind of songs we picked though, and
Yeah, I just me and Robbie just kind of did whatever our guitarist AJ said is what he meant to say.
For sure.
Which we love the
He told
guy.
us
We
to
still
it,
do.
we did.
That's fair.
Still
he
do.
just has a lot of initiative.
That's right.
Is he still doing music?
Yeah.
What's
He
his
is,
name?
AJ Manetti.
AJ Manetti.
band,
That's a cool.
Vinyl
That's a music
Sides,
name.
Right?
Vinyl side.
Yeah, you should
Yeah,
check them
pretty
out.
cool. They're like a kind of punk band based out of Champaign, Urbana. So
Okay.
They have
That's
some
sweet.
stuff online.
I'll definitely have to check them out. That sounds cool. Man, we're
Pretty
just getting the whole history of. Okay, so
We're not
Robbie.
even out of high school.
Yeah, we're not even out of high school. So
Yeah, wow.
Empire, right?
So
And
how did
then-
that? Go ahead. No. Go
And
on.
then what is that? How does that transition, or did it fall apart? No hard feelings,
Well,
hopefully.
I mean, I will say that
That's good.
no hard feelings. Robbie says.
This is the
No,
place
there-
to air out all your dirty laundry, man.
This
No,
is
there's no
not.
dirty laundry. We were very civil about it, but it was just kind of a band that was thrown together in a way like it wasn't meant for like long term. We didn't really the things we wrote were pretty simple. It was just
Mhm.
kind of a thing to do in junior high. We went over to high school for like a year, so that was about like a 2-ish year thing
Mhm.
going on.
Yeah.
But then we started writing actual music with melodies, and I was angry. I was angry. That's
Robbie's
my-
like, it's fine.
No,
It's
but
totally fine.
I should say then I started actually songwriting and caring about the melodies.
For sure.
And
Instead of just
singer-songwriter
writing to write
instead
a
of-
song.
yeah.
AJ writes a riff, and I
It's a difference in styles.
yeah, difference in styles.
That's impressive.
It's all right.
So now that's over. How does Ryan get in the mix, and how does
Ryan?
So, you want my perspective on the thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, in junior high, 5th grade, I started off on clarinet, which
Good
I
place
played
to
for
start.
2 years, right? I promised the instructor I would, Mrs. Pedzywater,
Yeah.
I would
Shout out to Mrs.
play
Bedsy
until
Water.
the end of 6th grade, which was my second year. And then I started taking percussion lessons because I was like, I saw the drum line, thought it was really cool, and I was like, yeah, I don't like clarinet that much. So then
Yeah.
decided to switch to drums. Instantly, I felt like I had like a pretty good knack for it. Like
Good.
it was fun.
You're pretty good. like off the bat.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. Like they had this song Avenger, I think
Okay.
it was. And I remember Ryan McWilliams gave me the snare part just to look at because he was like, yeah, no, I bet you can't play this, and like I was new at it, and then I just breezed through it because I had been taking lessons for like probably like 6 months, and he was like, whoa, do that again.
And
That's
that,
nuts.
and that song inspired you to get your car.
Oh,
Dodge-
100% the Dodge Avenger.
Yeah.
Whoa,
you
nice.
know
Nice.
Comes
Do you
full
have that?
circle.
Oh yeah, you gotta love
It's
Betty.
no Jeep Liberty
that's
though.
awesome.
Do you have that now?
Yeah, it's in the free lot here,
The green
Crazy.
lot.
Awesome.
the green lot.
Classic green
Um,
lot. NIU green lot.
So anyway, then I was watching them a lot. Empire. I would go to pretty much every one of their shows. I went to Empire at the Point. I went to Beat Harvest. I went to I can't
Wow.
even
Lots of class.
lots
Big
of classes.
fans.
Simple
Oh, it was
Fest.
a Simple Fest. Yeah.
Alicia's Place.
Yeah.
Big
I
fan.
went to a lot
Harry's
of
Long
them.
Bar. Shout
AJ's grad party.
I love how they were all like kind of like cool and stuff.
Oh yeah,
We had band shirts that were made, and it has like our shows on the back.
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Made
then
by
one of 'em's-
AJ's.
And they had a huge
Dad.
banner
That's
too
cool.
with Empire and like flames and stuff. It was,
We had
it was
lights.
pretty nice.
It was
Sweet.
nice. It was nice.
That's impressive. You guys went for it in middle
They
school.
did.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
but yeah, we did. You could say that.
Yeah, so then pretty much after their band started falling apart a little bit, I remember sophomore year, especially freshman year, I started talking to Andrew more because me and Robbie were already pretty close because we were in percussion together. But
Mhm.
Oh, this is an origin story. I know it's coming.
oh yeah, so Andrew was struggling quite a bit in algebra. We had Mrs. Sopkin,
Happens.
honors algebra.
Happens.
and so whenever
Honors?
whenever he'd like struggle with a problem or whatever, I'd look over and be like, "Hey, buddy, you doing okay?" And then I try to help him through it a little bit. So then we made it through algebra together. Andrew made it through, definitely.
Yeah, I got a D something on it in the
That
class.
happens.
So yeah, I tried to help him.
Not good.
But
Technically passed.
then
Yeah.
we got into geometry together. And he smoked me. Like
Okay.
he was
true.
very good at geometry. So I think
I think I got over 100.
I think you're
geometry.
either a
So it's one of
either a
those-
geography or an
Yeah.
algebra person. You know, it's
Okay.
kind of one of those
I would,
either
I
or
would believe
things.
that. I would agree with that.
I don't know how it happened. You couldn't ask me.
So that's where Andrew actually introduced me to Sufjan Stevens. I remember that.
True.
Okay.
He was telling me
Fire.
about his album Illinois
Yeah.
in freshman year.
Oh yeah.
Now the origin story I wanted Ryan to tell
Okay, go ahead.
had to do with a third member who is almost otherwise unrelated except for Ryan's story, which might hint him at what he should say.
Okay.
Third member.
Oh, he
okay.
doesn't know it. You
So-
gotta tell it.
In that same math class freshman year. Sorry, my voice is
Oh,
cracking.
Now he's like,
I
I
got
get
it now.
We had to do a project where we have to sing a song and have it related to some sort of
Okay.
math equation. I don't know because I barely passed class.
Sure.
I can tell you. So everyone did covers and everyone just sang over like karaoke songs. And me, Ryan, and third member party, Max. He was also
Max.
he was a
Max
guitarist.
Simchek.
Max Simchek.
He's actually isn't he?
He's
the-
in AJ's.
He's in
band.
AJ's band.
Okay.
Shout out
So
to
the vinyl sides.
Vinyl sides. Cool.
Yeah, so he played guitar. I still couldn't play guitar, but I played
Okay.
bass,
Impressive.
which I actually skipped that my origin story.
Okay.
But
it.
sorry, lots of loops.
That's all right.
Oh, you're good.
But so we just went together and Max played the blues,
That's sweet.
and I don't know, I wrote like 3 verses about math in like 20 minutes.
Sweet.
It was so good though.
And
Like it was called the Factoring Blues.
factoring blues,
Factoring blues.
from my head to my shoes.
Wow.
Oh
nice.
my goodness.
Type
And-
one
and-
keeps stressing me
Is
out.
there a
from my head to my
recording of
shoes,
this
yeah.
anywhere?
That's a
that-
Oh,
relic.
there is. We have it on CD.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I
a
think,
relic,
I think
dude.
if I find it, I'll get it to you.
That'd
So-
be sweet.
so
I
I
want to
think-
hear this.
I think that this kind
It's
of
pretty good.
gave proof to the fact that being terrible at math breeds great songwriters.
Yeah,
I think
that's-
that
I
was
mean-
the first song I actually
Dude.
wrote.
I believe that.
What was funny about it was Andrew
I
didn't really.
believe it.
I mean, he wasn't very good at factoring, so I had to like tell him how factoring worked for the lyrics.
to
and
be
then
able to write.
he
I
made
was
it.
like, "All right, man."
He made it work really well. Like I
He
was
really did have the factoring blues.
I was surprised.
You really do
In that
learn.
class, I did.
You were like, I don't understand that concept, but I could write a song about that.
I do
You
remember
really
that, though.
Use
We,
what you learn.
we just got together in my basement with Max and Andrew, and I had actually Robbie traded me an electric kit that I used
Wow, nice.
for my old acoustic kit. That's a funny story for another time, but yeah. So we recorded the song together, and then Max, just because they were already in a band together, like Robbie, Andrew, AJ, and James, which is the bassist for Empire. Then we decided to kind of form a band together, me and Max at least. And then so we formed this band called Tough Luck.
Tough Luck.
Yeah.
Those are some killer names.
We actually made T-shirts and everything. I still have the shirt. The
shirt is pretty nice.
It's a pretty nice shirt.
You
I
guys
like
go
it. It
for
has,
it
like,
when you do
the,
something. You're like making shirts. That's
what's it
cool.
called?
It's like a frayed logo, or it has like the faded logo on it in like a cool font. It's a
Yeah.
black T-shirt. Tough
Nice.
Luck in green, pretty generic.
Nice.
It was really fun. We got together like pretty much. Yeah, I think it was like 2 times a week. We played songs that I think were out of our like comfort zones. Really,
Sure.
They weren't really for us.
But you gotta reach high.
But we aimed high for sure. Connor Duffy joined us for that.
Yeah.
I don't know
Cool.
if I already said that, but he was our bassist in.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. But he was our bassist in Tough Luck. That's how we started, getting to know him and everything. But yeah, we played for I don't know, like 3 months probably, and then we played at Simple Fest with Empire.
Was at my house.
We opened for them.
Nice.
So it was just a fun experience. After that, Tough Luck never really got back together because I don't think the show went like great for us, but it was a really fun experience getting to play with those guys. Like I had a lot of fun.
For sure.
And then
Made some good
basically-
friends.
Basically, what happened was both our bands crashed and burned,
Uh-huh.
and we're like, if we still want to do stuff,
Uh-huh.
we kind of like the same music.
Oh yeah.
Boom.
Boom.
She
So
can find a
that's how
bassist.
this
That's
was
how-
born.
Yeah.
Yep, pretty much.
Empire split up, and then Andrew and I wanted to do some Jim
Yeah,
Steinman
they were
songs.
they were planning on
So-
doing like a duo, I remember.
Yeah, and I was gonna play like piano and do like Jim Steinman kind of Meatloaf stuff,
Uh-huh.
and then we're like, oh, we need a drummer.
That is true.
I
This
guess
little-
we
I guess we
need
gotta.
Ryan.
I
That
guess
is
we
very
gotta
true.
include him.
It kind of all played into it though. Like Andrew and I had algebra together, then geometry. We were getting a little bit closer, and then I was really good friends with Robbie at that time, like probably the closest with him. And then so it kind of like built on my relationship with Andrew, and then we kind of all just became really good friends.
Nice.
And then
And because they knew each other prior,
then the
Sure.
text group chat was born.
the RAG
That's
group
true.
chat,
Rag. Okay.
Sacred.
and that is an acronym,
That
not
is
a
an
dirty
acronym.
cloth.
Right. Yeah.
That goes for
that's good.
Robbie, Andrew, and then Gentile, my
Because-
last name.
Right. Because you can't have
Because there was
2 R's.
about 6 not Gentiles, 6 Orions in
Yeah.
our concert band in junior high who all played drums.
Yep.
Okay.
So I
Yeah,
became
at
Gentile
least 4.
because
Do
last
people still
name.
call you Gentile today?
Some people do from high school, but they call me Ryan now.
Yeah.
I still did.
Sometimes
Since like
Sometimes
years
third
ago.
person. I could see that.
Cool.
But
So
yeah.
then Rag was born,
Yeah, I think that was junior year.
and then I
Right.
got the Ragmas CD.
Yeah, you do.
Yes, that was when did we record that?
That was 2
Senior
years
year.
ago.
So freshman year of college, we recorded
Freshman
a
year
CD
college.
called Ragmas. It was just a Christmas EP. We had 3 songs on
3 of you guys.
it.
Which will be on streaming platforms.
Oh yes.
In a couple months.
Okay.
100%.
Are you
You
heard
gonna?
it here.
I'm working on it now.
Sweet.
Probably not first,
We're
but you
working
heard it here.
You heard it here. Probably not first.
It was
Maybe.
it was just kind of a nice initial recording experience for
Yeah.
us.
Cool.
Was that your
Um,
first time doing that?
Actually recording an EP, like an album.
actually
Yes.
recording.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's on Discogs.
We used like it is on Discogs.
Chris
Chris Herbig.
helped with that.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Shout out to Chris. Thanks, dude.
But yeah,
Titus'
so
old roommate.
it was a really good experience recording that. It was super fun. We did that over winter break, freshman year of college, and I just remember we were like, "Let's do a Christmas EP!" Like
Yeah.
very suddenly, like in like
Yeah.
October, I think.
And it was released in January.
which I mean,
That's
is
okay.
That was
It
quick.
was a bit of a blunder.
That's okay.
It wasn't ideal. We were trying to get it out by Christmas or New Year's, but it
Yeah.
is what it is.
The
It is what it is.
post Christmas was sad.
I mean, you can just play it every year before Christmas. Now.
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
because then when we released in January, everyone's like, "Why are you releasing a
Why are you
Christmas
releasing a
album
Christmas
after
album?"
Christmas?"
You're like, we didn't think
We were
of
like-
this soon enough.
Yeah.
It took I think longer than we anticipated because the mixing process was hard. Our buddy Lucas Haas helped us record it.
Lucas.
He was in percussion at Lincoln Way West with me and Robbie.
Mm-hmm.
So he was our friend, and he kind of just came over to my house and we recorded all the drums, and he went over to Robbie's. They recorded the piano, did all the pieces, and he was like a huge part in that.
Yeah.
So
Sweet.
we really appreciated his help.
Sweet. So that was Rag.
That was
No.
that was pretty much
In a
Rag.
nutshell.
In a nutshell.
Originally, we were supposed to be a cover band. I remember junior year, we just kept coming up with songs we were gonna cover, and then it just kept growing into more.
Yeah. So how did that evolve into we want to write our own stuff?
Well, I mean, what pretty much evolved was we started by just redoing Empire songs, but better.
Nice.
I should say, what's the word I'm looking for? In my humble opinion,
Better.
No, it was just a more intricate. Yeah, it's just a totally different style.
For sure.
I mean, it's like hating reggae while being like an opera singer. Like
Not
you're,
that reggae's bad, right? You know.
I'm not a hater. I'm coming off as a hater. I haven't had enough coffee yet.
That's okay.
Once I'm at the bottom of the mug, I'll be a nice guy.
That's okay. Cool.
Hey, we're honest here, though.
Yeah, that's super honest.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, what I was saying. So we just took those songs, which I wrote lyrics for, but nothing else, pretty much, just
Yeah.
lyrics and some melody. And I was just writing a lot,
Mhm.
and I just kept writing, and I would just bring it to the table, like at the bare bones I was at,
Mhm.
and we would just work on it. It's like, yeah, I mean, it's so much more fun to do songs that you wrote,
Yeah,
and
for
that
sure.
you mean the words you're saying, and that
For
you
sure.
mean the drums you're playing.
For sure.
You're not just copying
Somebody
Neil-
else's
Neil
feelings.
Peart or Neil Peart or whatever.
That's good.
Neil Peart.
Oh
Neil
yeah.
Peart, whatever.
What a legend.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Cool. Sweet. And then, okay, I gotta make sure I've got order right
giant
here.
timeline.
So then after
That you-
Rag,
yeah.
we renamed our band to Rag.
Wait.
Yeah, it was
That was
basically
true.
With the periods,
So
with
we
the dots
had
in there.
right. So we had the trio going, right?
Yeah.
So it was rag and then it was rag.
Yeah,
With
we had the
that
trio.
non-acronym, right?
Yeah.
Like the word.
We had the trio Robbie, Andrew, Gentile,
Sure.
and then we added a fourth member who recorded on one of our songs, Connor Duffy, that I
Connor.
mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
There he comes
so we
back.
just named it Rag, like capital R, lowercase ag.
Uh-huh.
Connor
'Cause
from
he-
Tough Luck.
Yes, Connor from Tough Luck.
Originally.
Yeah, the reference.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was really fun recording with him.
Cool.
Great guy.
Great guy.
And which we'll get to, but he's on our label now.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well,
true.
I'm excited for that.
So yeah,
I
we
wanna-
got
I wanna
we
get
got a
into
lot of
that a little
background
bit.
left still.
Dude.
So,
so-
yeah, rebranded, right?
Yes.
In the middle
that was
of it,
after
right?
we added him as like a bassist slash guitarist slash vocals.
Beginning of 2019.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all of this, the whole thing is that all of this was in a way placeholder names. I
Uh-huh.
mean, we liked it.
For
Don't get us
sure.
wrong, but we weren't recording anything and releasing anything other
For
than
sure.
that Christmas EP, which
Yeah.
was very like low key.
And we were just like playing shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just going to shows, and usually no one even knew our name anyways, so it didn't really matter much. But
Yeah.
now that we're finally labeling this project as Reconsider Paradise, and we're gonna release our album under it, now it's kind of the journey's finished, and we started this next one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Do you think you're finally like, okay, this is it? Like we're
This is the
finally
name?
here.
Oh, yeah.
I
this
mean,
is
we
it.
finally know what we're doing.
It's
We
been
wanna
a
do
long
stuff.
road for sure.
In
Reconsider
regards to
Paradise.
recording experience and playing, we're a lot
Sure.
more ready.
and songwriting.
If you were gonna get a tattoo, it would say Reconsider Paradise.
Absolutely.
Not rag.
Not rag.
That's how you know you're ready.
That's how you know. You
But
would get a
going back to,
Reconsider
like,
I
Paradise.
might get a
Adding-
tough luck though.
Would you?
Oh yeah. TL.
Yeah.
No, but going back to like adding Connor, like this was beginning of 2019. We just had added him. That was the year we started actually practicing a lot.
We
Yeah.
Before, we hadn't
First-
had a whole lot of practices. I mean, we got together occasionally. It was just me, Robbie, and Andrew playing, music, whatever.
Mhm.
But it sounds so empty without a bassist.
For sure.
So we never really like practiced a whole lot. But that year, we got going pretty well, especially in the summer of
Yeah.
that year. Like we practiced consistently 1 to 2 times a week.
Okay.
Yeah, I was
sure.
gonna say when we say not
Every-
a whole lot,
like, yeah.
we probably practiced at least once a month.
Yeah.
Like that probably sounds right. Sometimes 2, but then like for a good span of 4 or 5 months, 4 months, I don't know,
Solid, yeah.
it was like once a week.
And I mean, because
Solid.
they were at NIU and I was at Lewis and
Yeah.
Connor went to JJC at that time.
What
we
was that
didn't-
dynamic?
It was hard to like obviously practice during the school year. So then,
Right.
like I said, we took off in the summer.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
basically, I was working part-time. Connor was pretty busy with a full-time job. Andy had a full-time job.
It was rough.
Yeah.
We can get into that.
But pretty much we'd practice like even if it was late, like 7 to 9, 7 to 10, whatever.
Dedicated.
Like pretty much at least once a week we practiced during the summer. And that is the summer that we got way better musically.
Chemistry wise.
Like chemistry
as a band.
As a band.
As a
playing
band.
together.
Like especially adding Connor really helped with that too, because you added the fourth member. I had some connection with the bass sound, the drums and bass go
Yeah.
hand in hand. So it was so much nicer to have an extra like wing.
Well, and then
Yeah.
when around
You know.
Connor joined is like when we started to sing.
Exactly.
For
So and that we felt more confident in that, especially adding him, because then we had 4 people to sing. Especially when we did harmonies, I know I was timid at first. I think Robbie was too. But
yeah, definitely.
now we got into like singing lead, both of us. So
Do you
Yeah.
drum and sing at the same time?
it's difficult, but yeah, I do.
Don Henley style.
It's good.
Or Ringo.
That
for
is
some people.
like
I
probably.
think Marcus
one,
Mumford does some of that too. He does a couple songs of drumming. And
Oh, yeah.
singing. It's
No,
impressive.
like I was gonna say that's
Leave on
probably
home.
one of the hardest things that I do musically, because it's
Drum
hard
and sing.
to do the rhythms with your 4 limbs
Yeah,
on top of your vocal cords. You know,
that's
So
impressive.
it's pretty interesting. Like,
While keeping the vocal part like flowing.
Right.
Yeah, and sounding
it's-
good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you can't do a vocal part like a robot.
Yeah.
It's got to be kind of
Right.
It's gotta
flowing
work.
and-
Yeah.
Especially for lead. Because
For
when
sure.
you're singing lead, you need to give off the emotions of the song. You don't have if you're just singing harmony, the guy singing lead can take forefront, and the
Uh-huh.
harmony just backing up the lead.
Yeah, you can just blend.
But
in
you
with
gotta
it.
be,
Sure.
you gotta be that guy to hit those notes and sort of say what you want to say in a
Yeah.
meaningful manner.
Sure. Because you see guys on like street corners or whatever playing guitar and singing. You know what I mean? But you never see anybody playing drums and singing because
Yeah.
it's like a lot harder.
It's
you
true.
know,
It is. I
those
think,
guys with buckets, they don't do the singing.
They don't
They
sing
just
at all.
they
don't.
just do the buckets.
It's
you
pretty
know?
cool though.
That's
Like,
super
rock it,
cool.
though.
I do.
They
I
rock
love
it.
the buckets.
They kill it, dude.
Gotta love the buckets.
And when you get like a few of them, when they've got like their line
Oh
going,
yeah,
that is the
you gotta
coolest
have
thing.
The whole kit, right?
Oh man, that is the coolest thing. I'm a big bucket drum fan. Big bucket
Big,
drum.
big
fan.
bucket drum fan.
that was a nice aside. I like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Well, I don't know. Cool. And then Andy, you did some solo stuff.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I can
Let's
give that
let's
a
do.
little peek.
Let's do
Yeah, I
that.
feel like there's a lot we can get into.
Oh,
here,
yeah.
Now
so-
we're getting into the beginning of 20. Or
So this
end of
is-
2019.
And
Yeah,
then, and
beginning
in,
of 2020.
and in 19.
pretty much end of 19. Yeah.
Yeah, so we can slow it down a little bit.
Yeah. Let's do that, and then we'll do kind of a view of what you think your band's gonna look like, what you're excited for,
The
what it's gonna
scope.
look like, the scope,
A taste of
and
paradise,
then
some might
well,
say.
yeah, a taste of paradise,
Taste of Paradise.
and then we'll talk about your label too, because that's sweet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I like the coffee.
Good.
It's very
really
coffee.
nice.
Is it strong or is
So,
it?
so we got the side note.
Dude,
No, I
it's
mean,
good, man.
It's perfect.
I
Good.
don't normally drink coffee, but if Titus is making a podcast or making a batch of coffee
Or
early
a
in the morning,
podcast.
Or a
start
podcast.
I'm drinking it.
Especially for InHaus.
Oh,
Come on.
thanks,
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
Appreciate it. It's from Rwanda. It's a Rwandan roast, which is funny because they're usually dark roasts, right?
Do you
but
guys understand this?
yes, I do.
Yeah.
Partially.
Okay.
so
I'm
they're
good at nodding.
African beans are usually like dark roasts, just because of the way they're grown and stuff.
Mhm.
But this actually tastes lighter because the beans are fermented before they're roasted. So like the cherries, and it's from Red Arrow Highway Roasters in Sawyer, Michigan, I believe.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Shout
Shout out to the Red Arrow.
I forget
out.
the roaster's name, what her name was, but she did a really great job.
Oh, she knows.
She sold.
She's listening
She
to
knows
this.
She is.
currently,
She's
and she
listening to
knows.
it. She sold both me and my dad a bag of coffee and a coffee, so she did her job well, I would say. But
She had you sold from
Think
that
they get
start.
commission as coffee salesman?
I think
and
it
woman?
was her business, so she gets all the
Oh,
commission.
okay.
She
I
gets
gotcha.
everything.
She gets
I got you
everything.
now. So yeah, that's a commission.
Yeah,
If
I
I've
would say
heard it.
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah,
that's
Anyways,
a big
very
aside.
So
nice side
a
note.
big aside for coffee.
yes,
Anything though.
yes. Andy's solo
Yes.
yes.
track.
So what happens when you write music for 3 years and
Mhm.
don't officially release it is that it gets. This isn't a dig. I'll get somewhere.
Okay.
It isn't a dig against the band.
Okay.
When you don't release it and you want to get your voice heard
Mm-hmm.
because you have these things that you've had pent up to say.
For sure.
And what happened in my case is that I'll just start with this.
Mhm.
So the whole album is a cassette for Kelly
Mhm.
on all streaming platforms, available to you. That's what everyone says, I know, but it's on all streaming
I
platforms.
gotta check that out now.
A cassette for Kelly. It's
If
good.
you ask me, it's on iTunes. If you ask Robbie,
And that's
it's
your music?
YouTube.
Yeah.
Completely Andrew.
Yeah.
or
Just
Spotify.
completely you.
Completely
Yeah,
Andrew.
I
Singing,
mean-
playing.
Yeah. So our old pal we were talking about, Connor Duffy,
Mhm.
gave me a 4-track cassette tape recorder.
Mhm.
Cassette tape recorder.
Cassette recorder.
Cassette recording.
And I just found that to be like this sort of like I guess altar to sit at and just record music.
For
And
sure.
just to sort of sit down, plug in. And I was just playing with that for so long. Robbie knows that at NIU, I was in Stevenson, which is a big tower with no living area. I lived in a shoebox.
Nice.
Yeah.
This other guy,
Those
I mean,
dorms are disgusting.
yeah,
Dude.
it was the smallest dorm I've ever been in my life.
Yeah.
But so there's a separate room, the little study hall that I would take over about once every 2 nights
Nice.
and record. And I just found this passion for the cassette tape and just the simplicity of it.
For sure.
And so then what happened was I went home and I was talking to my dad.
Mhm.
Ooh, my voice.
It's okay.
My voice. I was talking to my dad, and I was like, "Yeah, I really need to get some cassette tapes. I don't know if we got any."
Yeah.
And this is where it all loops around. So,
Mhm.
what happened was, we found a box of my mom's old cassette tapes,
Mm-hmm.
and just to tell a story of that, so in 2010, so that's 10 years ago, my mom passed away,
Mhm.
and sort of I was so young, and there's a lot of stories that has to do with that, but the whole thing is that there's a lot of. So I took these cassettes, and because he showed me this huge box,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't even know this. She worked, so she was a digital designer,
Yeah.
and she worked at Memorex
Wow.
and created the design for the packaging on blank cassette tapes.
That's crazy.
And we had a box of about 200 cassette tapes.
That's crazy.
And I thought that was my sort of mission now,
Yeah.
to record something on them.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I
Definitely.
thought that was my mission. So I spent the whole winter of last year. So before Christmas, going into Christmas, the month after Christmas, recording the songs, a lot of the songs that I've had written for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a really interesting time in my life
For sure.
because in that like 3-month period of recording, I probably went through more grief than most of my life
Mhm.
since she died.
Yeah.
So it's just I don't really grieve in the same way as most people.
Yeah.
For sure.
So that it was one of the great experiences of my life,
Yeah.
just recording that.
Definitely.
And I didn't even care who listened to it,
Definitely.
as long as I had a tape and I had proof of it that it happened. and-
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Incredible. Do you think that's like your number one outlet then? Is
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think songwriting is a huge outlet.
For
And
sure.
I think that no matter what instrument you can and can't play, you should try it.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're just writing poetry, which is where it usually starts,
For sure.
you should try it.
Yeah.
Because it's really these ideas that I have in my head that I don't usually want to get out. Like, I don't need to tell people this.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, I'm not going to tell anyone I'm writing a song.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's a really good song. It really means something to me.
Yeah.
And I think
Definitely.
it means something to people who hear it.
That's good.
So
That's really
that's what happened.
For everyone.
That's the goal.
Especially if you really try to listen to the lyrics and
Yeah.
try to interpret the story in your own
Mhm.
way.
For
you know?
sure. Yeah.
And I've had experiences of people listening to the album and saying they don't like it, and saying who's Kelly, and like
Yeah.
saying stuff like,
What does that do to you?
it's just, and it's just people that you wouldn't expect to say that. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna say anyone's names or
No,
anything,
for sure.
but people don't listen to music how they usually or used to do, and people don't see it as an art form anymore. They see it as entertainment,
Yeah.
and just as that, which I think is a real shame.
Yeah.
In which people are just bogged down by like, oh, I can't. The vocals are weird here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't sing.
Why?
this.
Why are you saying like oh like that?
Yeah.
Because there's
They're
a
like-
oh like in the song.
Sure.
It's like why don't you just
Sure.
get rid of that? It's like,
And you're like, dude,
Did you
don't
write
tell
my
me how
song?
to.
It's my song,
Yeah.
buddy.
Yeah.
You know,
Everybody just likes the catchy melody nowadays.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
like
For sure.
You gotta. If you don't like a part of a song, it doesn't really matter as much as the whole big picture of it. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Like you're like, oh, I don't like the way they sing that. Okay. Well, what about the rest of the song?
Yeah.
You know?
The way
Or
I
the
like
rest
to
of the
think
full
album.
about it-
story.
The way
Yeah.
I like to think about it is like every song comes from a person, and they're like, it's their way of expressing themselves. you know?
Yeah.
Like I try to listen open minded to a lot of stuff I listen to, and just acknowledge that it's someone trying to get their music out. You know.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's a lot of. I mean, I can't really play anything except for tuba worth of crap. But like a lot of music I listen to like expresses the emotions I'm feeling in a certain way, kind of like what you were saying about like
Oh yeah.
listening and interpreting and like saying like, oh man, those lyrics like say something to me. You know what I mean? And I know when you were writing your song, right?
Yeah.
There was a lot of that process of like, so you wrote with JJ S02,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you can speak to that a little bit about like writing process before and after. You know, I know it's a worship song,
Right.
so it's like you
Please
guys.
go ahead.
But I think like it does come from what you're thinking and what you're feeling, and
Yeah.
if you, because one thing I wanted to do, and with like worship, it's different because a lot of times it's like
Yeah.
recalibrated lyrics that everybody already knows, and it's like singing the same truth or whatever. But it's like for me, I was like, what am I going through? What am I feeling? What am I learning? What am I being taught? Yeah, fill 'em up, fill 'em up.
Sorry,
No, you're good.
I was
But,
pouring
like,
myself a cup and then I got distracted.
I think like that's what I wanted to do with the song, was write something that people would be able to relate to, you know?
Yeah.
So that's really what it was. And I know that I could speak for JJ when
Yeah.
I say the same thing.
Definitely.
And there was plenty of writing sessions where we would, because this was all during the pandemic, so we had to like Zoom each other.
Sure, yeah.
Uh-huh.
But it was
Which is
plenty-
impressive, by the way.
That was very
Props.
impressive.
That's very impressive.
It was like, because he lives in Aurora, so it
Mhm.
was like, you can't really come here right now
Yeah.
if you want to get COVID, sure. But
Yeah.
it was a lot of us not even like writing initially, just kind of like talking and seeing like, what are we thinking, what are we feeling, and then
Mhm.
eventually we dove into it, and it took like 6 months, you know,
Yeah.
the total thing for one song.
For sure.
And I think a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of times people think like you write a song, it's like, oh, you busted that out in
Mhm.
2 weeks, and a lot of maybe sometimes that happens,
It
you
does
know,
happen.
but a lot of times I feel like there's so much more to it,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and people
And,
don't. Get
I mean,
that.
some of the stuff you were sitting on for
years.
I mean,
Yeah.
years, right?
All about releasing it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, there.
There have been times.
So
Sure.
I will tell you about two songs.
Okay.
One song, I've been writing still, and I don't think I'll ever finish writing it in my mind.
That's
I will.
okay. Yeah.
Sometimes those are the best.
I mean, yeah. No, it's a very beautiful song musically, but lyrically, I just can't wrap my head around what to do with it
For sure.
because I'm used to starting with lyrics and
Mm.
doing the lyrics after, and like I've probably redone them about 6 times.
Okay. Sure.
Because the first version of the lyrics I was heavily inspired.
Mhm.
Actually, no, I shouldn't say this. I was, after the fact, heavily inspired by Sufjan Stevens,
Sure.
who wrote a song about John Wayne Gacy. So and that was in my edgy years, and I was trying to do it, and I was some stupid high schooler, and I
Uh-huh.
scrapped it very quickly because I couldn't do it, and it was a stupid topic. And I went through a storyline of me going, not me, but a character of me named Pogo, which was his clown name, which is what I keep calling it. Going to Key West,
Nice.
familiar?
Yeah. I
I
know Key West.
Mallory Square in Key West is a huge art
specifically.
festival every day
Whoa.
on the lakeside. It's beautiful.
That's cool.
So there's a story about someone I saw there singing a song,
For sure.
and it's changed since then. It's probably going to change again.
Okay.
So there's that song, and that's probably how many years old? 5 years old?
6 years.
6 years
6
old.
years old. And then
It's called Pogo, by the way.
it is called
6-year-old
Pogo.
song. That's
Currently.
a kindergartner
And you
age
may
song.
or may never hear it. So
I don't know, maybe second album,
We'll see.
but
Cool.
it's worth the build up, I think.
Yeah.
when
Oh,
we release
definitely.
it.
now when it comes out, people are gonna be like,
Oh,
remember when he talked about that?
6 years from now.
When
when-
we're
Yeah.
big.
And then the other song, I was gonna say, I wrote very quickly,
Uh-huh.
but I was in a sort of like trance
For sure.
when I wrote it.
Wow.
It's the last song on my album.
Yeah.
Except for Kelly, all these days have been gone.
Yeah.
and I am prepared to read some of it if you'd like.
Dude,
Do you
do
want?
it.
Yeah, if you want to read some of it,
Yeah,
I
that'd be
brought my
sweet.
book.
Go
Yeah,
for it, bro.
That'd be sweet.
So
He's got the leather book.
it's a bit of a sob story,
Oh
but
my
the stuff I've talked
gosh.
about is already.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, for you visual
Visual
watchers
people.
right
Yeah,
now.
that's your camera
Oh,
right there.
top
That's
right.
your camera right there.
Crazy
Man,
leather book.
we got different camera angles. That's
Oh,
cool,
yeah.
by the way.
We got cameras over here.
And official stickers.
And official stickers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Buy
That's
your
true.
sticker today. Thanks for the
So
the
The
plug.
endorsement.
I footnoted this,
This is awesome right now. This is so cool.
which I'm okay reading this because it's already released.
yeah.
Okay,
So-
for sure. Yeah, this is the last song in your Cassette for Kelly album.
If you don't count Cessation, which is a grand bassoon organ outro,
Wow,
including
impressive.
Whoa.
bells and some other synth I put on
I
there.
would listen. I've listened through it several times, your album, and like I used to like pick out, and like I would find myself like one of your songs playing through my head. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
either the one about canoeing on the Kish or
Oh
forget-
yeah.
you know,
Kankakee River.
Kankakee
Kankakee River. Yeah,
All
yeah.
those songs have stories.
Dude, this sounds like as soon as this is over, I'm listening to this album.
Yeah.
I just hope
It's a
you
good
like it.
album.
it's just
It's
a very simple recording technique.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's one thing that would drive people away.
No,
But it's
I
not
like
about
it.
that.
Yeah.
That's why it's just
Yeah.
people need to listen more.
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole purpose of you using the 4-track. Besides the fact that you made that relation to your mom, right? You
Yeah.
wanted
Mhm.
that sound,
For
Yeah.
sure.
And the sound of it.
Definitely.
the old sounding, really original.
Definitely.
I tried my best to keep
Raw,
it analog.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I did no post effects. I used all the effects on. I mean, I got my digital mixer. I
For
used all
sure.
the effects off of that, straight into tape, mixed it live on my 4-track because it's got 4 little spin dials. Because
Nice.
4-track is 4 tracks, right?
For sure.
And how they use it is, on each side of the tape it's stereo.
Mhm.
So you're recording on the front and back of the cassette tape.
Mhm.
So you have left, right on one side, left, right on the other. 4 tracks.
Yeah.
And
That's sweet.
yeah, so I needed that restriction.
Yeah.
To make me get it done. Otherwise, every song would have 40 tracks,
For
which
sure.
I didn't want for the album.
Yeah.
There's something sweet about the simplicity.
Yeah.
For
Which is
sure.
what I was going for.
Yeah, if you want to read lyrics and then
Yeah,
we can
I will.
Break it down for us.
And we
man.
could break it down a little
Yeah,
bit.
let's
Yeah.
do it.
and then we'll end with talking about the label and
Yeah.
Sounds great. Yeah.
quick band cap. Sweet. Go for it.
It's all
So
you.
this is a song that it didn't really it just started as a song.
Mhm.
I went to visit my mom in the graveyard just to sit with her, and I had my satchel because I was going to do some writing. And what I instead did was I sat down there I was there for like half hour,
Mhm.
and I started hearing a tune in my head. And the only thing I had was harmonica. So I started playing my harmonica sitting there alone in the graveyard. And I wrote out the melody in one shot.
Mhm.
And I played the melody once, and I wrote out 7 verses.
That's a
About
lot of
this-
verses.
Yeah. I think it was the last song I wrote for the album.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was, other than the instrumentals.
Yeah.
It's titled All These Days You've Been Gone. Some days I just need time to think. Other days I do not blink. Either way, I'll stick to a wink all these days you've been gone. I keep it hidden all alone, let my mind endlessly drone. Me, I never get thrown a bone all these days you've been gone. I take a trip down 53, drive until I just can't see, with my eyes filled with tears of grief all these days you've been gone. Until this day I can't resist, hoping that you hadn't missed, wondering what you'd do with it all these days you've been gone. Maybe my kids will learn to love, laugh with joy as you're above, follow the wishful turtle dove all these days you've been gone. Next time I see you in my dream, I will tell you everything. College is rough, but I am keen all these days you've been gone. It's hard to keep your memories, alone in my saddened pleas. Someday I'll forget each of these. All these days you've been gone. All these days you've been gone.
Thanks for sharing, man.
That,
Appreciate
yeah,
it.
dude.
That's awesome.
So,
And that's already released.
Already
Yeah.
released.
so,
That's
so
already
that is
released.
Second to last song.
Cassette for Kelly.
I
Second
think
last
it's
song.
10 or 11 tracks.
That's my favorite song.
It's
Yeah.
my personal favorite as well.
Yeah.
You can
It-
when
I'm-
Andrew sings it, you know that
Yeah.
he means it. You
For
know?
sure,
And
yeah.
I think that's a big difference between a lot of artists.
Yeah.
You can tell when they really mean what they're saying.
And that's what sets you apart. You know,
Exactly.
as an artist,
Thank you.
right?
Definitely.
I think like you turn on the radio nowadays and you just hear like the same melody. the
Well,
same-
especially radio.
yeah.
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 I mean, who listens to radio anymore?
Honestly.
Yeah, but like,
No, just the stuff
oh.
that gets popular.
yeah.
When Andy was recording this album, I was like, he's recording on a 4-track. Like I
Uh-huh.
was really like interested,
Yeah.
obviously, but
That's a
like
cool
I
process.
just had no idea how it would sound. And then when I first listened to it, I was blown away.
Yeah,
I was like,
Yeah.
this is so good. Like
Huge.
the quality
for sure.
and everything, like the songwriting, you could tell he says what he means. I think
Huge.
Buddy.
anybody watching this, just go check out at least a song on there.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
for
is.
sure.
See if you like the sound.
Once again, a cassette for Kelly.
Like I
Cassette
said.
for Kelly.
KILLIE.
It's on Spotify. It's on Apple Music, right?
Yes.
YouTube. So you have no excuse.
Do yourself a favor and go listen to this album.
And
I
at
know I
least-
will.
At least this song.
At
you
least
know?
a song. And coming up on Spotify and Apple Music, hopefully soon, will be
Drum roll.
drummer. Reconsider
Reconsider
Paradise.
Paradise.
Cool.
A taste of paradise.
A taste
that
of
your
paradise.
tagline?
Yeah, our debut album.
I love that.
We're
That's
in
the album
process of
title?
making
Is
it.
that your album?
Yeah.
That will
Taste
be
of
our
Paradise.
first album, yes.
And,
Cool.
Dude,
probably next spring or summer it'll be up.
Sweet.
That's the goal.
Have you got
how's the process going?
Can
for
you give
that
us a
right now?
hint?
Yeah, can you?
It's going.
It's going.
We're recording tracks and we're sending them to Ryan, and then he's recording the drum parts for him, and then he does the drum part, and then what we sent him were scratch tracks.
For
So
sure.
then we just keep the drums, and then we play our stuff over his drum things, and we got like 3 songs going right now. And then once those get going more, we're gonna
record more.
record more. Yeah,
Covers or all originals?
all original.
All original.
Sweet. Super
A
sweet.
We
side
don't mess
note-
around with the covers.
Yeah, no,
A
not
side
anymore.
note on the drum recording. So all of last summer, we were supposed to be recording the album, but this old room in my basement used to be my dad's office.
Uh-huh.
Was completely cluttered with stuff, and it was my drum room, quote unquote.
Sure.
But it was never an official music room dedicated.
Sure.
Yeah.
So one day I was like, you know what? I really want this to be like a studio
Drum room.
for
Yeah.
me. You know,
Yeah.
like this, like I can never come down here and like play the drums and do my own thing and actually have it sound good, because I mean it was an old office. It was kind of empty, so the sound just bounces all over the
Yeah.
walls.
For sure.
The
It was kinda
mic's
bad.
super a lot of feedback and everything. But so we took everything out of the room. We actually cleaned the rest of my basement as well, so we went through like everything.
Impressive.
It was
Impressive.
an insane summer, by the way. But so what we did was me and my girlfriend Madison, we repainted the whole room. So we did like a blue and white thing to kind of match my drum set. It's like
Nice.
it's like blue with a black fade, right?
Nice.
And then we hung a nice shelf in there and just redid the whole thing basically.
Sweet.
She painted a nice design of like a sound wave on the wall.
Yeah.
It's like a nice little studio now.
And then you soundproofed it.
And then we soundproofed it. Not really
Cool.
soundproof,
yeah.
but we put a lot of acoustic foam on the walls.
Nice.
So now the sound is like exponentially better.
So that's
Awesome.
how he's been doing the drums. And
Yeah.
then this album, since we're releasing this album, it inspired us to create a record label,
Woo.
Loftview Records.
That's big. What is it?
What is it?
Loftview Records, and we made a website,
Loftview.
loftviewrecords.com.
The
so you
name
can check that out.
Origination comes from Andrew has a
Yeah.
loft
Get a loft view
that,
stick. Oh
that
no.
he
just
lives
kidding.
in at home. So
That's right. So I recorded at my house. It's
Uh-huh.
a farmhouse in the outskirts of Manhattan, Illinois.
Woo.
Beautiful little town with one stoplight.
Yeah.
It's when you
So-
know.
Yeah, so it's a little ranch house, but we have a huge like shop barn, like
Yeah.
a huge tin barn, probably like 10-car
Wow.
garage.
Sweet.
No farm animals in the barn, but it's the barn.
Sure. Yeah.
And above it is the loft.
Okay.
And
the loft.
which
The
which is
loft.
where I currently live.
It's where the magic
So
happens.
I moved in right when I came back for winter break, which is right when I started recording
For sure.
the album Except for Kelly.
Yeah.
So for that album, when you're typing out all the information, you can put record label and it says, you can make up a name or you can not put anything else, be your
Okay.
Andy Hervatten.
For sure.
So I put up Loftview Records because I kind of liked it,
Yeah.
and now we're just gonna keep going with it.
Now it's a record label.
So there was a record on Loftview before it even existed.
Sweet.
there's
That's
that.
impressive. But now it exists.
Now it technically
does.
exists.
Could somebody release under Loftview Records?
Yeah,
like if they
actually,
came
we
to
have
you?
a release coming up.
Okay.
A band, Common Thoughts. and
Common
they're
Thoughts.
A duo of brothers, and
Did
Yeah.
you know them previously? Is that how they?
so
got
I know
plugged in
them
with you?
because my brother Matt, he's a couple like 2 or 3 years older than me, and they're kind of in that music scene with my brother, like,
Okay.
and they do like piano and acoustic stuff, and
Nice.
and then also on the label is our buddy Connor, who we mentioned before. He was in our band. Fico Lirito is his solo name.
Wow.
And then our buddy Johan Hernandez is.
We're gonna
also
have
in
so
that.
many links, dude.
I just want to like sit down with all these dudes.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And then
Oh, we could have him on.
and
Oh, yeah.
then and it's us,
Yep.
Reconsider Paradise, and Andy Hervatin.
You
As
gonna
a
try to
solo
get vinyl
artist,
sides
of
on there or no? They've already got a record label.
We might.
You should.
They have we
should
talked
reach
to
out.
them yet? I don't know.
I say you go
Look.
for it, man.
Cool.
Dude.
Big stuff.
That's the label.
Super big stuff. Cool.
So what are you guys doing now? So you're just recording your album and
Recording our album and
Trying to
what do you
get
do
through
that's the
for
main
college.
goal right
what's
now.
with the
That's
label
what we're
right now?
doing.
What do you guys? Is there anything you're working on? Is there anything you're?
Well, our I feel like the best way to describe the label, because I feel like it's a kind of the concept of it might be different than what a lot of people think.
Right.
We're pretty much doing it because we have a lot of buddies who we think are really successful, like
For sure.
at writing and everything, at songwriting.
Yeah.
Good
And
artists.
the problem is that either they don't know how to. It's not super difficult stuff, but we just kind of like to be there with them,
Yeah.
just
for
to help
sure.
them through it.
Help them through the
It's-
process.
It's not like a for-profit thing or
For sure.
anything.
Well, and the idea is we just build a musical community of people trying to get their music out there.
That's awesome.
we're
I love
doing
that.
Exactly.
Trying to bring people together. So, if it's like, oh yeah, I'm a singer-songwriter guitarist, which is what Connor is.
Yeah.
He might need a drummer, and Ryan is on the label, and he can help out. And it's just
Yeah.
kind of this
I'll jump on.
open playing field for all of us to grow together as
That's
musicians.
super cool.
I just think it's a nice support system.
Yeah.
to
That's
have,
awesome.
You have a bunch of musicians, super creative people. They can give their input on stuff and help you record, or we can help them.
Right.
Just kind of like a fun
Yeah.
thing.
Which you wouldn't get
LoftViewRecords.com.
loftviewrecords.com.
Yes.
Which you
Yes,
wouldn't get
indeed.
with like a huge label because
Right.
it's like, you know,
Exactly.
you send it off to
Right.
somebody.
It's
and
as
then-
indie as it gets, I think.
Oh yeah.
Other than being independent.
Oh,
I
yeah.
am a fan. I am a fan.
He's a big fan.
I gotta. Well, I guess Mumford's kind of folk alternative, but I got
But-
Mumford's on the shirt on.
It's kind of indie, I guess.
No, that
kinda.
was. I think that was the whole purpose, like of the whole thing, like
Yeah.
the whole personal thing. We have
Definitely.
a bunch of close friends, and we just want to help them get their music out. It's
Definitely.
it's a really fun thing.
That's
Good for
awesome.
you guys. That's awesome.
I feel so inadequate sitting next to these guys.
No.
Oh,
they're doing-
no.
We make
I-
it sound more complicated.
I
than
know
it
how
is.
to play so I've only learned the key of G on the guitar and the key of E as capable.
Yeah, but-
I'm
and that's
capable of
alright.
everything.
So you know every key.
So
Oh,
you
yeah.
know all of them.
For sure.
You know more than most guitarists.
we may have our own label, but you have your own podcast.
That's
true.
true.
That is
We do have a
100%
true.
podcast.
Look at us just
There's
being a
that.
bunch of creatives.
Woo!
Yep.
We've done it, guys.
Someone's
Good
got to
work.
do it.
Somebody's got to do
We're
it.
making it.
We're
Dude.
making it slowly and steadily. We're making it.
Yeah.
In-house podcast, by the way.
You
know what they're listening
if
to.
you're here,
Somebody's like,
Someone's
listening
like,
to
"Wait,
it," and
what
they're
are we-
like, what is this?
Really check it out.
I'm so glad Ryan said that. I was not sure what we were doing here.
that's what we're here for.
That's
Oh, man.
H-A-U-S.
H-A-U-S.
Yes, INHAUS. I don't know why we're saying it. People know it. People know it.
Oh,
Guys, thanks so much.
Yeah,
this
this
has
was-
Oh, you're welcome.
it's been
thank you so
super
much
cool.
joy
for having
to-
us on.
Yeah,
Have you guys here? And
excited for your record release or your label release.
both things, yeah.
Both
We're
things,
planning
and
on,
your
um,
album release.
We're
at
planning
some
on
point.
pressing it on vinyl as well as getting
Dude,
some CDs made.
you told me
so-
about that. I am so in for the vinyl.
So any vinyl fans,
I
have it on
will-
CD and vinyl and
I
all
will
digital
buy.
streaming
I
for
will
those.
buy the vinyl.
Vinyls
that.
for days.
Those who prefer.
Those who
Yeah.
prefer.
So we've kind of talked about it all episode, but where can they find you? Where can they
So
check you
we
out?
just built a website, loftviewrecords.com.
Cool.
So you can check us out there. I think we have our links to our pages there.
Cool.
But Instagram, we have Reconsider Paradise as on Instagram, Loftview, and then my name is Andy Hervatin. That's HRV as in Victor, ATIN. You can
Hatin.
Did you just misspell your own last name?
HRV as in Victor, ATIN.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
what I
got
said?
it. He's got it. Don't worry.
Did you just think I misspelled my own name?
I'm
I-
pretty
I-
sure. I didn't hear the T the
No,
first
no, no,
time.
no. Well, But so you can hit me at AW Vervaten.
For sure.
Awesome, dude. What about you guys?
Shout out at Robbie Porowski is my Instagram name.
Woo. Get some
Nice.
killer pictures on there.
Yeah, I do some photography stuff on there. And I have a piano account, but
Robbie Piano
Robbie Piano.
don't need to plug everything.
with an IE.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, yeah. There's a
Gotta
need.
plug every single thing.
We're plugging everything. I got a Rhett PIA is my dog.
Dude, Pookie Nation.
That was my sister's. And it's been deactive.
You get deactivated.
We're dropping so many links.
No, it's active, but not active.
That's
You know
okay.
what?
It's
Why
up.
not?
We'll just hit
Gentile
the-
_02. That's my.
But our main
It's
thing
my
is
IG.
the,
Good deal.
The label.
Yep.
Yeah.
website.
We'll
Which
link
is
the
just
important
Lawview
stuff.
Records. If you look us up on
Andrew's
Instagram.
house on Spotify.
I'm sure
Cool.
you can get to their Instagrams through
For sure.
the main
Yeah.
Instagram.
find
them. Exactly.
If you're-
You guys are good. You'll find
And actually,
them.
I think if you just Google Reconsider Paradise, it just pops up.
Sweet.
So I mean, I think it's pretty easy. And
That's
the
good.
great thing about my name is that there's no one else anywhere with my name with an Andy in
Impressive.
front of it other than my dad.
Are you
And
named
he's
after
not
your
a
dad?
music guy,
Yeah,
so.
I am
The second?
not technically, but the fourth.
You'll find his dad's
fourth?
record
Yes,
label
it was-
and albums.
It was
That's
my
awesome.
my great grandpa who was shipped over on the boat, come to the Great Lands of America, and Uncle Andy, who fought in the war and became unable to have kids.
Ah.
So in honor of that, my dad's Andy and I'm Andy.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That's sweet.
But you don't have to put the 4 to find me on Google.
Okay, got it.
That's kind of sick. You should
Andy the
have
fourth.
That'd be kind of
just
cool.
4 Roman numerals.
Andy Hervaten
Later.
the fourth.
That'll be your later brands. That'll be.
Oh yeah, we'll save that.
That's in
We'll
20
look into
years.
We'll pocket that idea.
Hey, thanks for coming
Thank
on.
you guys.
Thank you very much, sirs.
No
We'll
problem.
see you guys
Next week.
Next week.
Peace.
Bye guys.